I'm Edie Lush, and I'm here in the Hub Pavilion in Davos. Very pleased to be joined now by Andy Wales. He's the Group Head of Sustainable Development for SAB Miller. Thanks for coming along.
It's a pleasure.
You're very busy. I've got tons of cards for you. You've got this card, which is the YGL Water Initiative.
Yep.
We've got a book, Water Security, the Water, Food, Energy, Climate Nexus.
Yep.
Tell me why you're here in Davos. Got to be
Okay.
something to do with water, right?
It has. So we're a beer company, brew beer around the world, and of course water is critical to make good beer. And we, amongst many other companies, many NGOs, many governments, see that in the next 20 and 30 years, actually water is going to become very scarce. And that's not just because of our direct use of water. It's also because the energy we use, the clothes we wear, the food we eat, all have a lot of embedded water in them. And so this book that we launched today, Water Security, is essentially the book that we, looks at what are the different interactions between water, energy, and food. So, for example, by 2030, we expect to be 40% water short.
Right.
As a society, so that will have an impact on growth, an impact on human welfare. But at the same time, we need to double irrigation to grow enough food for all the people in the world then. And at the same time, we need to produce more energy. And energy takes a huge amount of water. In the US, probably 50% of fresh water at the moment is used to generate energy. Okay. And so this whole conversation in this book is about trying to make accessible some of those dilemmas and trade-offs.
So what do we do? I mean, obviously I'm asking the big question, but what are some of the solutions that SAB is coming up with? What are some of the solutions that are in the book?
Well, I think first and foremost, we need to actually understand how water is used. So for example, for SAB Miller, we've done a lot of work water footprinting our products. And you can see on our website, we've been very transparent about how much water it takes in the brewery and then in the whole value chain. And normally it takes us something like 4.5 litres of water to make a litre of beer. And our goal is to get that 25% more efficient by 2015. But the bigger bit is in agriculture. It can take anything from 40 to 155 litres of water to make a litre of beer because of all the water it takes to grow barley, grow hops, grow maize. Right. And so the key thing is to understand where the big ticket items are and then how you can work to resolve those issues. And so, for example, we have a partnership with WWF called Water Futures. It's also part funded by the German government. And that's looking at working with farmers in specific watersheds that are at risk, both to improve their management, improve ecology, and to protect our supply chains.
So are some of the farming methods that they're using, could they be improved as well? Yes,
so one of the things we've done in South Africa with WWF is develop a better barley farming toolkit, which builds on earlier work they did on sugarcane. And it essentially helps farmers understand how they can get more yield for the same amount of water, how they can use water more efficiently, as well as broader issues about better fertilizer management. We also have a really interesting project in Honduras with WWF, where farmers receive texts with real-time information about weather. So they don't, for example, put fertilizer on their fields just before it's about to rain. So you reduce water pollution. So there's lots of innovative things companies can do working with farmers.
Do you think there's a role for government as well? I mean, just thinking about that, I'm from California, and I'm from the land of, going for a running past in a sort of sprinkling rain, past sprinklers being on as well. People sort of don't care. Is there a role for higher government taxation? Is there a role for higher government awareness of some of these things?
Well, government has a really critical role. And in fact, that was the main conversation this morning. We had more than 20 ministers, probably 40 major CEOs, heads of international organizations like UNEP and others. And the consensus there was very much that government must lead on this, and their businesses and NGOs and others can help. And so there are some quite difficult issues government does need to work on, like the fact that around the world water is typically underpriced, and therefore people use it in a wasteful way. And that it's not easy to change water pricing, it's politically difficult, but we have to help governments do that, because otherwise we won't be able to become much more water efficient.
And I've got to ask you this, we've got a card here, your card here says your jeans require 6,000 litres of water. How is that possible?
Well, the thing about these cards is the conversations at Davos happen between government ministers, business leaders and others. And what the Young Global Leaders Group, which I'm part of at the World Economic Forum, is trying to do is take that debate beyond the policymakers and make it interesting and useful for young people around the world. And so we have this new campaign, which you can sign up to at yglwater.org. We're preparing it now. It's going to launch in 2012. And the idea is that every month for 2012, 12 million people around the world take an action on the 12th of that month to reduce their water use. Okay. It could be eating less meat, it could be taking a shorter shower, it could be a whole range of things, and we're building that at the moment. But if people go there and sign up, they can see some of the interesting information about their own personal water footprint.
Okay, I'm going to sign up now.
That'd be brilliant.
Andy, thank you very much for stopping into the Hub Pavilion. We really appreciate your time. And I'm Edie Lush.